Okay, this is onboarding acceleration early in the morning. And for the twins, and just want to get them going and feeling comfortable with the whole layout of the tutoring and everything. So let's pause this recording. Okay. All right. I'm going to share this here.
Hello, give me one name. I need 1 minute. I need to rename. I use it for something else. This Zoom
Good morning.
morning.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Hi. Waking up. So I'm in that. It's been a long night. Yesterday was a long day and Friday. So
Yeah, we were
um
also kind of busy, so sorry about that.
oh, no worries. Um, are the girls going to be available?
Yeah, Mayuri Khushi, come here. Yeah, they're going to just sit next to me and squeeze into one chair. Yeah,
That's
please.
fine. Good morning, girls.
Good morning. Morning.
Are you more of a night person or a day person or a morning person?
Night, a night.
Me too. Morning, I don't even know who I am in the morning. I need like 3 hours just to wake up. But I say that all to say I kind of feel like a high school student again. And it's kind of nice in a way. Because as a teacher, we work just as hard to get everything. Our study doesn't end. And so I feel like I can relate to the girls because it's like you go from one thing to the next to the next to the next. Does it feel that way? Yeah. Okay, so cool. I don't want to take a lot of your time this morning. I'm on my way to church, but I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about real fast, and I'll try to get through as quickly as I can. Um, let me share my screen and let's see here. Optimize for sound.
So I ordered the books and they'll be there on
There on
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, wonderful! I ordered my book too. Um, and you got them from like Amazon?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have my copy from 1989, I think, from college, and I have a new copy as well. So I love that book. They will love it too. It's very simply written, very easy to digest. So and I like that because when I'm writing, I don't want a big reference book. Okay, so if you can see my screen, let me know. It's just
Yeah, I can.
a calendar entry here. Okay, so I'm going to share the updated onboarding slide deck, which you will be able to have. I shared the link with you. So it just has the links in it, and you'll see it's very helpful. It's just kind of like one place to find everything.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to update the student agreement today, um, which it's a signed agreement that keeps me accountable and just basically it's like that official document that you always want to send out when you're starting a program, just so that you know, hey, I didn't just give my money to this guy. Like, here's what he's going to do in exchange, right? And all that. So I like to make it as legal as possible and share my present pre-assessment report while also sharing the draft overview of the 6-week program. So I'm still working on the program. Um, typically I set the goals based on the pre-assessment results. So that was the writing that they did on um, Friday. However, we can and should update these after a couple of weeks or at the midway point as I work with the students and uncover additional needs. I was thinking about this yesterday in their writing, and really their intelligence and their thoughtfulness really comes across. And I know sometimes it's hard to show what you know when you're writing in a really under time constraints and you're in a hurry. Um, but I think it still does show us when we're under those stressful environments what our skills are, our levels are at. I also know that as we're working week to week, I'm going to be learning more about their skills, their abilities, what they care about. Um, so I was able to see a little bit of that in their writing. If they felt more comfortable with a question, if they had more background information going. So that was really cool to see. I will also see if we can begin the tutoring Wednesday. Now, I wanted to ask you if that, I know that we talked about a Monday and Wednesday schedule. We also are going to talk about the Friday or Saturday office hour, whichever works better for you. And I'm going to try to give you my preference there, but I will totally work around you for whatever works for your girls' schedule and your schedule as well. So
It's going to
we'll
start
talk about that.
this Monday, right?
Well,
Tomorrow.
I'm seeing if we could start tomorrow. Yeah, it just means that I have to create that today. It's more of an introductory lesson, which is fine. But I think it might be better if we started Wednesday and then did the second session like on Friday or Saturday. And then next week we can start it. We can keep the regular, Monday, Wednesday, and then do an office hour. And I'm wondering if that would work for you. That would just give me extra time to make to put everything together because we just started what I just pre-assessed them on Friday and we're meeting today. So typically I have a couple of days to work on this. Um, so would that be okay with you?
Yes, that's okay.
Um, so I'm going to ask what day. Let's just go ahead and talk about the office hour. Typically, what I do is the Monday, Wednesday tutoring comes with the Friday office hour. Um, I also have a busy schedule, so I prefer Saturday at the same time. But my first commitment is if Saturday doesn't work for you and we can be flexible with that, we'll go ahead and make it Friday at the same time. The other thing is I have a student I'm tutoring from 4:30 to 5:30. And is it okay if we go with a 5:45 to 6:45 time instead of 5:30? Now it'll work either way because if they have something else they're doing or they need that time, to eat or to rest, whatever, then I'll make it work. So it's just having that 15-minute flex so I can kind of um, just transition into time with them from the other student.
So it's on Monday and Wednesday?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, we're fine with it, right, girls? Yeah.
you are? Okay. All right. So you got to let me know if for any reason that becomes a problem, and then we'll shift it back.
So this week it's going to be Wednesday and Friday at 5:45, and the office hour is Saturday, you said? At
All right. Well,
5:45?
let me ask you, generally speaking, would an office hour on a Friday work better for them or would a Saturday? Because the thing about it is, during the office hours, a lot of times um, they may want to talk about homework. They may want to work on some stuff, some grammar or some writing, or maybe just anything pretty much. It's an office hour. So they get to tell me what we're doing more or less, or I could suggest different things we can work on. And it's not mandatory for them to come to that office hour, but it is there for them. So let's try to figure out from them what works better for you. Like, would you rather just not deal writing and everything on a Saturday? Would you rather keep your Friday to yourself? Does that work with mom? It's kind of like a family decision.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, it's fine, yeah.
So you want Saturday, not Friday?
What?
Do you want Saturday or Friday?
I don't know, like,
Do you want to think about it? Do you want to
Yeah.
think about it and let me know? Yeah, discuss it. That way you're not under pressure. Let me get a pen. Okay. Like I said, it's in the morning. And I know that I never sign contracts and stuff like that, or buy a house or buy a car in the morning. So it may be they still need to just go through their day and think about it. So decision on Friday or Saturday. Okay. And then we'll do Wednesday, Friday, just next week. And then the following week, we'll go regular schedule, Monday, Wednesday, and whatever office hour. Okay. Because I want it to be good for them. You see, I have programs and I've tutored like this before, but I always create it around them. And that takes extra work because I have to be thoughtful about what came up in their writing. And so I'm working really hard on that. And also because they're joining me, they're the only students I have in this time slot for May. So we'll talk about that as well. So I appreciate that extra time that you're giving me to do that. I'm gonna show you the slide deck and we'll jump right in. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll go to the slide deck first. Um, let's talk about the stuff first, because sometimes this stuff can be kind of dry. Now, so is it okay if we talk about what, like the writing that you did? You girls okay with that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start now. This is very detailed. So what I'm going to be really careful here is I don't want to miss the forest for the trees. Um, but what I did is I created a document that has probably more detail than you want. Um, it talks about everything. Um, so I looked at a rubric, and let me show this to you. I wasn't planning to show this to you, but I think it's going to be a good idea. Let's look at rubric because students always need to know what a rubric is. Oh, that's not it. Rubric. All right. All right. So you should see a rubric in front of you. Let me know if you want me to enlarge it.
We're fine.
Okay. In fact, I would even say I've updated that rubric since that time. So let me look at this. Oh, here we go. All right, my computer's slow because it has so many tabs up. That's okay. I'm just going to go to the other rubric. It has the wrong scoring. But basically, when I look at your writing, and I think this is what most teachers use in their rubrics, is that we look at your ideas and development. Um, we look at organization. So we look at, do you have a beginning, middle, and an end? Um, see, I don't like this. So yeah, I'm having technical difficulties here because my Word document doesn't seem to be coming up. So let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Okay, I found it. Came right up. So we're going to share. All right, here's the rubric. So I looked at the organization, right? Does the paper have a topic sentence? I'm looking at the top right here. We're not going to go through this in great detail here because I just want you to know the sort of things I'm looking at. And if you look here, it's probably the quickest way to get an idea of this. So introduction, body, paragraph, conclusion are clear. So I score it from a 0 to a 1 for partially meets the skill. You can see there some structure is present but lacks clarity and organization. Mostly meets skill is a little bit better than that. And this is our goal right here. Fully meets the skill, introduction with strong hook, background, and thesis, clear body, topic sentences, evidence, analysis and transitions, conclusion, reaffirms the thesis, summarizes main points, ties back, and includes clincher. Then we look at the ideas themselves, whatever topic they're talking about. If they're talking about social media, for example, do they fully develop that idea? Are there examples? Do they explain it well? That's development of ideas. We look at sentence fluency. So when I read their writing, I read it out loud like it was a speech. And after years and years, I've gotten this sense. When I was in high school, I had no idea what rhythm was. I just wrote my sentences. I just wanted to answer the question, get in, get out. I was done, right? But these are the things that are going to be more meaningful as they go into high school. So rhythm, cadence, flow. And pretty much, if you ever heard a person give a speech and they stuttered and they weren't prepared and they searched around for ideas, they weren't confident, that's how it sounds. Okay. If you hear somebody say, hey, it's going to be a wonderful day today, buckle up your seatbelts. This is going to be a great roller coaster ride. All right. Are you ready? Yes. Here we go. You see how it had a nice rhythm to it and it felt very natural. And so this is what sentence fluency is about. And what it comes from is actually varying their sentence structure. Now, it's kind of ridiculous to talk about these things in a timed write where they have 15 minutes to write and they're under pressure and they're trying to get it done. But it really does show how it's kind of like this. What we do under pressure really shows where our skills are at that time. And so it's just a snapshot in time. But it comes from sentence variety, like having short sentences, um, simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, having clauses according to so and so, comma, blah, 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 right? That's a compound sentence. Um, and having a mixture of those long, short sentences. The writing conventions themselves, correct spelling, punctuation, capitalization, grammar, and usage errors, if any, do not interfere with meaning. So on the negative end, they can interfere with meaning. On the positive end, they can help make the writing clear. So, and then finally, vocabulary and word choice here. On the negative side, vocabulary is ineffective and unclear. And then it gets slightly better here. And then all the way here, what our goal is, uses precise and effective vocabulary. All right, so those are it. Organizational structure, how it's organized. The ideas themselves, are they fully explained, fully developed? Are there examples? The rhythm and cadence, the flow of it, the sentence variety, the kinds of sentences that they're using, um, grammar and punctuation. Do they use words properly? And their vocabulary and word choice. Okay, enough about that. We're going to go back to this. Now, I'm going to try to do this in a couple quick minutes, or let's say 5 minutes. But I want you to be able to look at this and maybe we can look at this a little more during the first tutoring session. So, so for Khushi, she wrote, so what I did is I sat down for a couple hours and I took my time. I read through everything and I was very thoughtful about where the writing was. And I want you to think about something here, girls. This is your writing. We're talking about the writer here. We're not talking about you. And that's going to really be helpful as you go forward because nobody's judging you. And even if it seems like we're judging your writing is always going to change, right? And so that's what's really exciting about the tutoring is we can work on your writing and you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to really um we focus on grades, don't we? We focus on the A, we focus on really showing what we know, and that's great. But in tutoring, we get to be a little more vulnerable. We get to show what it's really like and how we really feel. And that open honesty is really going to help us move forward. It's not when we do well that we learn the most, it's when we make mistakes. And I was really excited reading all this because I saw a lot of great stuff in there and a lot of and areas that we can work on, and that's going to work. Okay, so this first question for Kushi was on social media and how the negative and positive effects of that. Um, and basically, I graded it and I gave her 11 out of 18. Now that seems kind of low, but again, this is a timed right. AI, I gave it to Chat GPT and it gave me 11.25. So we were very close. So there was a total of 18 points. Um, I'm going to just go here. I'm going to skip over this detailed section right here. We can talk more about it in the tutoring when it's just the girls and I, and we can kind of talk about how they felt about everything. Right now, I just want to cover this for 5 minutes and we have to move on to other things. Okay. Any questions so far or thoughts?
No.
Okay. And girls, let's just lay it all out here. It's it's not easy looking at scores, right? So I don't know how you feel about that, but it is if you can get through this and be okay with it, and it just shows how strong you are, right? So because that's really tough. My writing, when somebody talks about my writing, I still feel like they're talking about me and they're judging me and they're not, right? So it's something we might struggle with, or maybe you don't struggle with. I don't know. Um, oh, this is the summary, right? So the thesis is present but lacks clear progressions, transitions exist, but connections between ideas are thin. All right, so I'm going to see if I think I did a summary at the end. Yeah, we're not going to look at that. All right, I'll just jump into it. There's really no way to avoid talking about this individually. So sentence fluency, moderate flow with moments of awkward phrasing, some run-ons. There are some run-on sentences in both girls' writing, and I think that's going to be an easy fix, right? So we're going to help them with that, varying the sentence structure. There's some variation there. They're going to get a lot of practice with varying that. Okay, writing conventions, strong controlled grammar and punctuation. Um, it seems like they've really paid attention in school, so I'm very grateful for that. Vocabulary and word choices are occasionally confusing or misused. Yeah, sometimes the words chosen are not the right one, although I do know what they mean. So it's just a matter of vocabulary development and those shades of different meaning because sometimes there's a better word for something. But again, it's under pressure. So, like I said, I'm going to learn more about their writing as they go through the tutoring sessions because it's not so much pressure and they're going to show all kinds of different strengths that they're going to bring into that. So I'm aware of that. Kushi's second response had to do with clubs and schools. she did a better job there. Let's take a look at it. I have to say that I could tell that she sort of enjoyed the writing and she felt passionate about it. So a lot of this has to do with our ideas. And that's what I said the first time we met. Ideas are everything. Um, we write best when we write what we know the best. And when we don't feel comfortable with the topic as much, it shows, right? And it showed here. Look at that score, 15 out of 18, which was an 84%. And AI gave her slightly lower, 15 out of 18. Clear hook and logical flow transition support structure well. Both girls have really good transitions. They're very organized, pretty much. At times there may be, not they may not have the examples that would fully develop that, but the organization is there. Okay. Ideas fully developed, reasoning and concrete examples. Very enjoyable to read. Strong rhythm, though occasional awkwardness remains. During sentence structure, there was some variety there, but there was only 3 sentences, but it was an entire paragraph right there. So we want to get them writing shorter sentences and taking their time. And that's going to boost their confidence with their writing. Writing conventions accurate with minimal error. Vocabulary is mostly precise, though some academic terms, such as normalized, she talked about normalized classes. I think she meant general education classes or non-elective classes, but using the word normalized just confuses it. Although, again, I do know what she means there. Hybrid writing report from Mayuri. So, Khushi, any questions with that? Any thoughts? Okay. You
Did
felt
you
better
look
with
up
that second?
on the internet or something for those words? Like, did you look for synonyms or something? Like how he said normalized, did you look up for synonyms or just wrote on your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And like I said, in the real world, you're going to probably look for synonyms and they're going to always be developing that vocabulary. So I had the same issue when I was their age, more or less. Right. So, all right. Next gal here. Let's see. Hide the meeting. Okay, here we go. Mayuri, this one was on social media here. And again, I hate to talk about a 10 out of 18, but like I said, this is very exciting because they're going to grow very quickly in the tutoring. And then okay, so it's 10.75 out of 18, which would be a 59% still passing. AI gave her 11 out of 18. So she was missing a topic sentence there. Ideas begin mid thought. So she jumped right in basically with the example, and transitions weren't really there. Thoughtful content, but explanations are buried in long sentences. Very difficult. I had to read a couple. Well, it wasn't really that difficult actually. Surprisingly, I knew what she meant the whole time, but I knew that she could cut down the number of words. And so what happens with the longer sentences is you can run into trouble, and sometimes other teachers um, might say, hey, I can't even grade this. I can't even understand it. Well, I think that's a cop out. I could totally understand where she was coming from. I could totally understand she had deep thoughts about everything. So it's just like I said, more practice with shorter sentences, declarative sentences, which means you're going to need those transitions, right? And that's going to help you. So we're going to move away from those long sentences. All right, varying sentence structure, attempts variety, but lacks confidence there. Writing conventions, frequent issues with run-ons and punctuation. Vocabulary choice, and inventive, but occasionally unclear, like contentfulness. Again, I think they really like words, and it does show because it's like, yeah, I can use the word that I really think I need here, even if I have to kind of, if even if it's an unusual word. I'm not sure of contentfulness. I'm sure that's a word, but I haven't seen it used before. Um, we can say contentedness or being content. But again, um, the second, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, nothing.
Okay, great. The second one here was the persuasive prompt, and this is not right. So AI kind of messed up here. It wasn't gender equality in clubs, it was school clubs. I had to kind of scold AI. I said, "What are you doing?" So that's why I sit down and spend a lot of time because I don't trust AI. But I was curious, right? So I gave her 15 out of 18 on this second prompt, and AI gave her 15.75. And let me take a peek at this. Um, okay, that's right. Have you ever imagined a world where individuals in our school have neglect? Yeah, and I could tell it was a topic she knew something about. She had probably thought about it before, which was she felt that schools should implement a second language program. Uh, Students can learn foreign languages all the way from kindergarten all the way through college. Um, Organizational structure clear and effective, ends slightly abruptly. And I think that was a time issue because we ran out of time. Development of ideas, well reasoned, detailed, and specific. Um, The writing flows smoothly and with confidence. Good variety in her sentence variety. More control than in prior response. So again, that showed me for both girls what I thought all along is when you know your topic and you feel comfortable with it, um, you do a much better job. And it's just more almost like second nature. Writing conventions generally strong with few errors and vocabulary and word choice purposeful and effective word choices enhance meaning there. Okay. So these are our goals for the tutoring. Improve clarity and structure using step up to writing IVF. Just some structures here. I won't explain fully here. Um, there are some academic response frames that are really going to help the girls. And this will give them their grammar targets. It's just like sentence frames, basically. And we don't want to keep them with those sentence frames. We want to move them away from them because it's like training wheels. But we use this for the best students. It's not just for students that are just learning about sentences. It's how to make more academic sentences. And it's kind of like if you've ever wondered from your school, like your teacher will talk about good writing, but often I've asked myself, but what does good writing look like? Can you show me what that looks like? And can you give me some scaffolds, some tools so that I can put my own thoughts and create my own good sentences, right? And so that's what these academic response frames do. I'm very excited about that. Practice sentence control, eliminate run-ons and comma splices through revision drills. We're going to do some short, frequent writing, I know in my tutoring, I do a lot of projects where we start a project today and it goes for 3 or 4 weeks and we turn it in and we work on it each tutoring session. I think I'm going to lay off that for a bit. We might start that in June, but for now, I think what's going to help them the most is a lot of different short pieces of writing. So they get a lot of practice there. And I think they're going to appreciate that. Build vocabulary through copy work, model analysis, and force in literary terms. We do need to work on vocabulary, and they can work on that outside of the tutoring sessions as well, which may be a question. How much homework is going to be okay? Now, we don't always do homework in tutoring because I have a lot of students that they don't have any time. And so I don't design the tutoring sessions where we have to do homework, but it will always help. Now, we talked about the grammar exercises through the book that you ordered, and there's some reading things we can do. So that's kind of my question for you as a family. How is homework something that they can do, such as 30 minutes, 4 times well, let's say like there's only 2 sessions, right? And there's an office hour. So we could say like, okay, let's work on this between now and the next session. That could be 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes.
Should be
Is
fine.
that Is that fine?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
An hour is better, but I want to be very sensitive here that they're doing something extra in their life with the tutoring. So I don't want to make it too heavy. So be honest. An hour's better, like twice a week, 3 times a week. And that would just be stuff you can work on together or, through the workbook. I also think it's important for them to read. So I'm going to have to think about that as we go through the sessions. One week, I might recommend they do a little more reading on their own, and I want to get them into that habit. So, would it be the end of the
You,
world if we did an hour 3 times a? That's a lot. Let's say an hour twice a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If that changes, you let me know because I know that activities change. Sometimes you do new activities. Okay. So I'm very sensitive to that and very flexible. Okay. So don't worry. I'm not going to say, well, you told me. All right. So we're going to develop writing fluency through, yeah, I already mentioned that. Okay. Enough. And here's something I want to take the time to talk about because many parents are concerned about AI. Many teachers are concerned about AI. Can I tell you what I've learned in the last 6 months? We need to allow students. Here's a danger. If teachers don't talk about AI in the schools, students are already using it. They don't know what results they're going to get with their students. If they teach the students how to use AI in an honest way, where they're not letting it do all the work, they're not letting it do all the thinking, it can be helpful. And if we embrace it, then we can control it. Um, it's 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 a parenting choice as well. Um, and I want to leave that up to you and maybe something to think about. So, what are your thoughts about that? I want to be
yeah,
able to show them little ways to use it because it's a if we don't mention it and we avoid it, the students are going to do it anyway because it's going to be everywhere. Is that right?
yeah. The
You-
unfortunate thing is these schools are always like detecting, like running these documents through AI, and
Detectors.
there's always like some 1 or 2% that shows up, and I don't know if they're going to start digging. That's the only concern I
I'm
have.
not saying that they should use AI for their writing necessarily, but to give them ideas
Okay.
and to give them
Yeah.
feedback on some certain things. But here's the thing. I'm going to make a note here. We should follow the school's protocol for AI.
And the thing is, if they get used to using AI to give ideas, let us, I don't even know how it works in high schools. Are they given sessions where within that particular hour they are supposed to take some stuff and write it without, I mean, there's no AI there, right? So they should have the confidence to write
Yes.
stuff
Yes.
without the use of AI. So that's my husband's side.
Okay.
Hello. Nice to
How are you?
meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet you
doing
too.
well. It's been nice to meet your family over the last month or so and to start to work with the girls and talk about these issues.
Yeah, I think all that I care about is for them to realize that they don't need to use weird sounding words just to look important. Uh,
Yeah. We talked about that in the pre-assessment, the results. So yeah, we're gonna be working on that as well.
Thank you.
That clarity. But nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, great. Um, Girls, what do your teachers say about AI in the classroom? And do they give you an opportunity? They how do they handle that?
Um, um, they like give you zero if you um use that.
Okay. Okay.
So what happened was last week, Khushi was supposed to do some writing in the class, and the teacher said, "This is the only time you can do. You can't like take it home or something." And she couldn't even like come up with ideas. Right, Khushi? The extra credit homework that she gave you, you weren't even able to start it, right?
No.
So so what happened? Can you explain?
Hmm?
Can you explain what happened about your homework
No,
that I
it's just nothing. Like, it's not very much credit.
right? But where were you stuck?
It's not even like anything relating to the ELA. It doesn't really matter.
No, but how come you were not able to finish it?
Because I was working with a group and they didn't really like know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hearing your concern. I think what you're trying to say is that if there's a reliance upon AI, that when you sit down to write something, you're not going to have the ideas. It's going to kind of give you a disadvantage, right?
So addicted to, going to the computer and looking something up. And if you're suddenly in a place where there's nothing available, like no technology, and then your computer to type, it's going to be hard for them. And that's the struggle I'm seeing for even other subjects, not just ELA, because there's writing in other subjects too, right?
Yeah.
Like history, for example, they are so used to looking up things on AI that they're forgetting that the teacher has actually given slides to go over, understand it. They make the
Yeah.
slides so simple, right? But they don't want to do that. There's that urge to go into AI and look for answers. And they have certain assignments where they clearly say, don't look up on the internet for the answers. It has to be from the content that we've given. And they really struggle at that time.
Wow. I'm glad you're saying that. You know why? I I think we'll focus on ideas. That's one of my main pillars is ideas. And what can we do to do that? So we're gonna work on that, girls. uh, we're gonna do some more on the page. And I love to write on the page. Um, I also use I can type on the computer, but you're gonna find that when we're engaging ideas, your reading that you do and your thoughts throughout the day as you capture those experiences and you write them down. We're going to get you in the habit of doing that because um, it's going to create that habit of growing those ideas very slowly, like a plant. And we have to be patient in that. So that's why my third pillar is organization because these work together, right? We have to have enough time to do that. So that means that the girls have to start their assignment the first day they're given it. They need to have time to read those slides, to record their thoughts. And when the assignment comes up, to have those writing steps and techniques, they can follow a process and say, okay, I'm doing pre writing. Here's my ideas, right? You girls, what are your thoughts about that? Moving away from AI is like it's a big temptation and into slowing down, taking the time, reading through. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
Um, um, uh, yeah, it's like, um, um,
You're good with that? In other words, that's
I
something
have
you're
to
willing
like, I
to,
think I have to like, yeah, utilize my own ingenuity, I think. Yeah.
yeah. You girls have amazing thoughts. And I saw that in your writing just from the difference, right? Between from one prompt to the next prompt. So, and you're going to feel better and more confident about that. Really, the way to speed up is to slow down. And that's what I tell students in school. Let's slow you down because they try to get the answers, and I have incentives for them to get high scores. And so I have to tell them all the time. And this is everywhere in all the schools because of the internet. Okay, enough about that. I thought that was very important to talk about. Okay, that report is done. Let's jump into the onboarding real fast. And let me see what time it is right now. I have to leave in the next 10, 15 minutes. But all right, we're going to skip ahead here. If you girls, you know what I'm going to do? Um, I think it's better this way. Let me make a decision right here. I'm going to go through these slides and overview, but I think if you want to do the tutoring starting Monday, we can, because I think it would be very helpful for the girls and I to talk about some of these issues we've been and to lay the groundwork for that. And that way, during that first session, I can go over the results in more detail with them, when you're not there. And also, I can go through the onboarding slides in greater detail for them. Is that a good plan?
Yeah.
I think that would suit them very well. So we're going to stick with Monday at 5:45, Wednesday at 5:45, and office hour. They'll get back to me on that because they'll think about that. Okay. All right, so let's jump right into this. They're going to see this twice, but today they're just hit really quickly, and you have access to all of this. So the orientation overview, some of my story, how I started this, we don't need to know for now. Some of my students that have had good results. Let me do this. We're going to skip that for now. Now, that's what's possible. To influence someone, you must deeply connect with them, not just intellectually, but emotionally. Understand their needs, desires, and fears without accepting their self-imposed limitations. So right now, the girls say to themselves, this is what I'm capable of. Now, they may not say it out loud or even to their conscious mind, but all of us in the back of our mind say, I can do this, but I can't do that. So we need to change that thought process. And we have the tools here to make ourselves better and to say, I can do that. I can write my own ideas at a high level, and I can do even better than AI because it's my own thoughts, it's my own skills, right? As leaders, our role is to challenge these limitations, showing we believe in their potential and care about their journey. This genuine connection allows us to truly influence and empower others. So it's the blend between empathy and challenging somebody. Just like a good coach, a coach understands his his athletes, but he pushes them beyond what they think they're capable of. All right, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Your results come down to the effort you put into it. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about the difference between teaching and tutoring. Mom, if you want to look at this on your own, I already shared this slide deck with you and the girls as well. How I design tutoring lessons around students and real world essays. So the approach is to create the foundation, habits, and environments that grow excellent essays. So you might just change the way that you work a little bit, but you're going to be prouder of yourself. You are, I guarantee you. You're not going to like it in the beginning because it's going to seem like, oh my gosh, we're really slowing down here. I feel like I'm in third grade again. At least for a minute, you might feel that way, but then once you see what I'm doing, you'll be like, oh, okay, I trust him. I trust what he's doing. And not only that, I can see the results in my writing, and you're going to know that, and it's going to motivate you. So I'm very excited for that. And we will learn to spend strategic time writing at a higher level to master essays. All right. This is the overview of the tutoring that I have. This is subject to change. So let's see. I'm reading the stuff at the top here. These are the dates. This is the structure. You already know that pretty much. The focus is sentence control, paragraph precision, expository and persuasive writing, confidence building. And when we enter June, preparation for the fall. For the first 3 weeks, the foundations of clear, confident writing. And then in the last 3 weeks, high school preparation phase. Okay. So there's some things there we're going to focus on, but I wouldn't focus too much on each week here. It could change, but if you want to read this, we're going to go over this basically tomorrow as well. So, and Mom, if you have any questions about these slides in the next couple of days, in the next week, feel free to come back and ask me about anything here.
Would you be sending these because I don't have this with me, the one that you're showing. You sent me slides,
Yeah,
but it was different.
So right here, I shared it last night. Um, what I'll do is I'll copy the link also and put it in I'll put it in our messenger.
Because the one you sent had things like so what's next, and but it's all blank, right? Or
Oh,
is
I don't
that
know.
the same thing that you?
Maybe
Yeah,
I
I
sent
think
the wrong one. Let's take a look. Let me just send it to you right now and let's open it up from there. Okay, so if you open it up, you saw I updated this last night. And so it's the right one. So you have it now in Facebook Messenger, and I can also email that too if you want.
if you could email it, it would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, let me do this. No man, compose, send for my tutoring account, and Shruti MK2003 at yahoo.com.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You should have gotten an alert in your email that it's been shared with you, but it may be
I did
because
get
it's a
that.
Yahoo. What's that?
I did get that, but the one had it didn't have all the details like how you were showing me.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah,
some of
no
the things
worries.
blank.
Huh. Okay. Well, here it is again in email. So, um, yeah, it's probably because I'm working late at night. Sometimes I make mistakes or my brain just kind of shuts down. All right, let's jump right back in. We're almost done here. So, let me share the slide there. All right. Okay. This is just a slide. We'll skip for now. It's just more of the mindset that I'm talking about here about overwhelm and just the reality of that. So we want to recognize that. Um, okay, next one. All right, here's some materials, some tools for organizing. If you don't have your week planned out, um, it's something that may help them. So I'll leave that up to mom. If you feel that if we want to talk about this during the office hour, I find that a lot of students feel overwhelmed, they feel stressed, or there's a lot of tension between moms and kids where the kids are saying, I don't have a lot of time for this. And parents are saying, but you waste time here, you watch TV there, you do this, that, and the other. And I find that a lot of times the way to solve the issue is just basically for students to be able to have the opportunity to write down what they do on a daily basis. And a lot of students are not used to that. So is that not an issue for them? Is it something that they're so busy that it's not really something that we need to talk about?
I think we can. I
In other words, basically what I'm saying is, would it be helpful for me to work with them to create that weekly schedule? Now, this you would have to look at it and say, okay, remember, we have to do this on Fridays. Remember, on Sundays, we do this. And it's pretty much a family thing where you fill that out and it shows you and it shows them pretty much where their time is going. And it allows them to fit in things like homework, fit in things like tutoring. And it also ensures that they're putting some time in there to relax and time where, there's some ebb and flow, some balance in there. Because otherwise, we don't want to stress them out.
It's good.
So we can talk about this later if you want in chat. So would that be better? You want to talk about that another time?
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah.
whatever you put, they'll be following. They know
Yeah.
their computers are going to be charged. They'll be participating. I don't know about the
Right.
active participation. That's something I don't have control over. But yeah, the honesty part will be there. They understand that's the tutoring and it's not a like a school session where you have to like you get marked down for doing something wrong or something. There's no such thing here. So it's they should have the
Was yeah, I mean it's like going to the gym, right? I work on my cardio or I work on my upper body. It's like people don't go to the gym because they're all completely healthy, right?
yeah.
People that want to work on stuff go to the gym, right? So no one should be there to impress others, but people do that anyway. All right. Um, see that one, that might be one of the last slides. Okay, this is going to be all your links here. These are all the lessons here. There's going to be a passcode. There's a Facebook group that I'll show them. And this is just the schedule here. So we're going to move that to 5:45. And then we'll leave this to be decided whether it's Friday or Saturday for the office hour and what time that is, because it could be in the morning if you want. It could be early, it could be different times. So we'll talk about that um, probably through chat, um, through Messenger. Here's my email address. And I would say to the girls, since they're minors, yeah, for mom, you may just want them to talk to you directly if they have questions. So if if that's better for you, then let me know. If you prefer that you do not email me directly, it's really up to you. It's
You
pretty
can
much a
email
family.
directly. It's fine.
Okay. Um, and then communications, I don't have Telegram up yet, but that may be something in the future where I'm putting information up there, alerts and things like that. For example, if I'm out of town and I need to change a date. But we communicate good through Messenger as well, so we'll just keep it there. And then here's the Google Classroom. And so tomorrow we'll set them up in that. Okay. So I've already
Okay.
sent them an invite. And let me see. I think that's the last slide. Um, Okay, one last thing from me. May I have your permission to keep sorry, this is misspelled, you accountable and help you succeed? So I want to hear that from the girls. Give me a yes, no, or I'll think about it.
Yeah.
This is your honest answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know you mean that too, because I can tell you're with it. You're supporting all this, and you're the biggest part of this because you're doing the work. And we recognize that. So it was a pleasure talking with you. And again, thank you so much. You did an excellent job. You were very serious about your writing. You tried your best. And just listening to everything and the grading and everything is not comfortable, is it? It's very uncomfortable. But you did well. You sat there, you took it, and you know that it's going to change. It's not, you that we're judging. It's trying to get our skills writing better. So, all right. So have a wonderful day, and I will see both of you tomorrow. And so,
Wednesday, right?
well, we can start. We can start tomorrow because, like I said, what I think what was going on was as I was going through these slides, I realized that probably what would be good for their first tutoring session would be to go through some of those slides in detail.
Okay. So is it the same Zoom link you had on that slide that they need to join for the class with the
Yes.
passcode and all that? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep. And if there's any technical difficulties, we'll work through it tomorrow.
Okay.
There's always going to be
5:45
a
then.
little 5:45 tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me
All
double
right.
check, make sure that because it's a new schedule for me, I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I'm really good about scheduling everything. So, yep, we are good to go. Have a wonderful day.
Yes. You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.